Hello and welcome to the Wayne State Coaches Show, an exclusive on MyWayneNews.com. I'm Mike Carnes. We're here to talk Wildcat Athletics, and we'll talk with Coach Marlon Brink about the track and field team's efforts at the NCAA Division II Indoor Nationals down in Pittsburg, Kansas. We'll do that after this time out right here on the Wayne State Coaches Show.
The Coaches Show is sponsored by Pack and Save. Pack and Save is a proud supporter of Wildcat Athletics and is your one-stop shop for savings. Check out Pack and Save's excellent produce and find the best cuts in their Grade A meat department. Be sure to stop at the Top Notch Deli where you can find their amazing fried chicken, daily lunch specials, and all the fixings for your next tailgate or viewing party. Pack and Save is open from 7:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week, and their staff is waiting to help you for all of your grocery needs. Pack and Save, your one-stop shop for savings in Wayne, America. Go Cats!
Welcome back to the Wayne State Coaches Show on MyWayneNews.com, and we're talking indoor track and field with Coach Marlon Brink. The track and field team headed to Pittsburg, Kansas for the Division II Nationals here recently, and came home with one All-American, and that was Cade Kalkowski getting a seventh place finish in the weight throw with a mark of 66 feet 1 3/4 inches, and it's always nice to come home with an All-American, and Cade did a fantastic job and kind of had to come from behind to do it.
Yeah, it was kind of a nail biter actually. You know, he was ranked 8th going into the prelim or into the finals there, and then the first throw up in the finals hit a big throw and bumped him down to 9th there, and then he couldn't get a better throw on his 5th throw, and then finally on his last throw he was able to pull off a big throw that moved him up to 7th place there, and so it was very exciting. Kind of a great way for him to cap his indoor season for sure.
Yeah. Now explain the formula. I know in high school they generally take the top 8 to go to the finals after the prelims, but in the NCAA they do the top 9.
Yeah, they take 9, so that way you've got a little bit of competition once you get into finals there, so that way you can't just relax and be guaranteed a spot. So top 9 go to finals there, and so like I said, he was setting 8th going into finals, but then he got bumped out by the 9th place guy on his first throw, and so he knew he had to come up with a big throw after that, and his first 2 throws in finals there weren't any better than his third one was his best throw of the competition. Actually, it was his lifetime best even.
Oh, so his third throw in the prelims was his personal best then?
Third throw in the finals.
Oh, third throw in the finals, okay.
Yeah. They get 3 prelims and 3 final throws there.
Okay. Well, Cade becomes the first indoor All-American for the men in the weight throw, joining Ross Bunchek in 2011 and 2012, and Brian Dunn in 2016, and so he joins that list of All-Americans in that event from Wayne State. Another Wildcat that was competing in that throw was Dylan Kaup. He finished 18th with a best mark of 60 feet and 8.5 inches. Wayne State had one other male athlete competing. That was Robert Sullivan. He competed in the heptathlon and set a new school record, finishing with 4,459 points, and just barely missed the All-American stand there. He was actually 4 points out of 7th place, so it was a really tight finish there between 7, 8, and 9 there for All-American status.
Yeah, you know, it was unfortunate that he didn't get All-American honors. He had an okay first day, you know, and the heptathlon 7 events, so there's 7 opportunities for things to go wrong basically. And his first day didn't have a real great long jump or high jump, which are 2 of his stronger events. But then he came back on Saturday. He had a personal best in the pole vault and also a 1,000-meter run, so kind of offset the difference of his first day. But like I said, it's just a little bit short for him to come up 9th place there. It was a little frustrating, but he did set a new school record. It was lifetime best for him, so that was a little consolation for the weekend for him there.
Yeah, so on a personal note, it's a great thing for him to finish where he did. But you want to get an All-American medal on top of that. That's probably the only disappointment out of that whole thing.
Yeah, it was his 3rd time to nationals, so he knew what it would take to do well there. And he was ranked 13th coming in, so he still moved up 4 places from what he's ranked coming in. And so those are a couple of highlights that he can take from that. And he's motivated to do well in the outdoor season, and he'll be competing in the decathlon for us. And his goal is to hopefully make nationals in the decathlon this year.
And Wayne State had 2 female competitors in the indoor track and field championships. Mackenzie Schell finished 15th in the women's weight throw on Friday, and Jaden Wagner took 17th out of 20 athletes in the women's shot put on Saturday. And that was the first time for both of those young ladies to make it to nationals, and had not a great first outing, but not a bad one.
Yeah, again, they were kind of ranked, or they finished exactly where they were ranked at. Mackenzie was 15th going in, and Jaden was 17th, I believe, going in there, and so they finished exactly how the rankings were. So, that's good for them. It was Mackenzie's first time to the national championships. Jaden went last year to outdoor outdoor nationals. So she had a little bit of experience, but anytime you get to a national setting, there's a little bit of nerves involved there. But it's a good experience for them. They're both young. Mackenzie's a redshirt freshman, Jaden's a sophomore, and so we're really expecting some really good things for them in the future.
The first time you go to nationals or to a big competition like that, whether you're a high school wrestler going to state high school for the first time, or something like this where you're going to indoor nationals, that first time is always kind of a wow thing where you walk in and you're like, oh, this, I'm not in I'm not in Kansas anymore. Well, actually, we're in Kansas. We're in Pittsburgh, Kansas, but just that first time is kind of the eye-opening experience that first time you're there.
Yeah, it's a different atmosphere. You've got a little bit more pressure. You've got the officials that are officiating a little bit more closely than what they would in a regular competition, and it's just you know what the stakes are. And that everybody's good there, otherwise they wouldn't be in the meet, obviously. Mm-hmm. And so it's it's a good opportunity for them to learn from that, and I think they'll take a lot from that going forward here.
Yeah. So the indoor season's done, and now we're getting ready for the outdoor season. And you can't see it with the table here, but Coach has some winter boots on because you guys aren't messing around with Mother Nature. You're gonna get that track cleared off and get practice started no matter what.
Well, we're trying one way or the other. We've got a couple snow blowers out there going. The maintenance has got their big blower out there, and we're trying to get the track cleared off because it sounds like next week's going to warm up a little bit. And if we get some sun on the track there, the track melts off pretty quickly. We're scheduled to have a meet next Friday, Saturday, the 22nd and 23rd. That's a Wildcat Classic, and we've never really had to deal with this much snow a week and a half before. So we'll see how things go, and if things fall into place, hopefully we'll be able to get the meet in next week.
So there won't be any delays in the start of the track season here at Wayne State.
Well, hopefully not. We're hoping.
Now you guys are hosting the high school indoor meet that's scheduled for this weekend.
Correct. That's Friday and Saturday. We've got, I think, 18 teams coming in on Friday for the smaller division schools. And then on Saturday, we've got about 10 teams coming in for the larger schools. And so it's a good chance for our kids to, they get to help run the events off and supervise, do the officiating basically for the high schools. And the high schools, I know, I'm sure, are excited to get a meet in because they're in the same situation as us, having snow on their tracks and everything. So it'll be a good chance for them to start their season off, and it's always good for us to see some local kids. Some of those are kids that we're usually recruiting either this year or in the future years. You
might think about it. You might take this thing that you're doing with your track and maybe offer it to the other high schools around the area. Maybe a little fundraiser for the track program, and help some track teams get an early jump on.
Yeah, well, you find out how far 400 meters is when you're doing it behind a snowblower. It's a lot longer than what you think it is.
It's long enough running it, let alone
exactly.
pushing a snowblower behind it.
Especially for 8 lanes.
Yeah. Well, Coach, congratulations on getting another All-American, and looking forward to talking to you with the spring sports coming up.
You bet. Sounds good. Thanks, Frank.
All right, we're taking time out and have more here on the Wayne State Coaches Show right for this time out.
The Coaches Show is sponsored by Pack and Save. Pack and Save is a proud supporter of Wildcat Athletics and is your one-stop shop for savings. Check out Pack and Save's excellent produce and find the best cuts in their grade A meat department. Be sure to stop at the Top Notch Deli where you can find their amazing fried chicken, daily lunch specials, and all the fixings for your next tailgate or viewing party. Pack and Save is open from 7:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week, and their staff is waiting to help you for all of your grocery needs. Pack and Save, your one-stop shop for savings in Wayne, America. Go Cats!
Welcome back to the Wayne State Coaches Show, and before we go, I want to update you on softball and baseball action. The softball team finished their spring break trip down in Florida with a 7-1 record. Had a great week down in Florida at the National Training Center Spring Games in Clearmont, Florida. They finished things off with a 11-3 win over Clarion College out of Pennsylvania, and in the final game got a 9-5 win over Alderson Broadus. So the Wayne State softball team now 8-6 on the season. They are scheduled to get back to action on Friday, March 22nd. That'll be a week from Friday at the Missouri Western Tournament in St. Joseph, Missouri, and they'll be taking on the University of Mary and Northwest Missouri State in their first games there according to that schedule. Wayne State baseball team closed out their spring break trip to Arizona on Thursday with a sweep of Mount Marty College out of South Dakota, beat them 13-1 and 6-2 to end things on a positive note there at the Tucson Invitational Games. The Wildcat baseball team 9-4 on the season. They're scheduled to open the season this Saturday with a home doubleheader against Minnesota Crookston. At this point, with the snow, the amount of snow that's still on the field, and the forecast for the week, not sure that that's going to happen. If it happens, may happen at another location. And you can stay up to date on mywaynews.com for any updates that come about on that. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Wayne State Coaches Show here on mywaynews.com. We'll be back with another edition next week. Until then, this is Mike Carnes. We'll see you later.